She's betrayed us. She's doing something else. I can't believe it. This has all just been a show. Calm down, okay? What do you think happened? But Erica said stop, and then I was frozen for 4 hours and 30 minutes, just like.
Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? If you got something to say, tell it to her face. If you got something to say, tell it to her face. All this is fake and gay, and you know it. I got all the evidence, I'm about to show it. You projecting all your guilt out on us and Candace. We just trying to solve the case, I don't understand it. Are things not turning out how you planned it? We can see it in your eyes and your body language. I see all the threats that you keep sending me, but underneath the jail is where you finna be. Your band of crooked pastors in the pulpit. Every time you speak, all I hear is bullshit. Tell the truth about Charlie Kirk instead of telling me to stop. All I wanna know is which guy took the shot. I need an answer to a question only you would know. Was Charlie Kirk's life a reenactment of the Truman Show? Truman Show, Truman Show. 100,000 of us on your head top. Please stop trying to feed us all this fed slop. Your grieving widow book tour, we ain't listening to it. And free Tyler Robinson, cause you know he didn't do it. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What?
It feels a little fake and gay. Gotta tell you guys, it feels a little fake and gay, and there will be no fakeness and no gayness.
Yo, I almost hit the end stream button because I'm so used to playing this video at the end of my live stream. I almost ended the stream by mistake. So everybody drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Let's get to it. I'm just going to get straight to the video.
Speaking of bad publicity, Paramount, not so tactical, apparently, I was not aware of this, is being paid or was paid in a large lump sum by the Department of Defense, dated 14 days after Charlie Kirk's assassination. Would you know? How weird that Brian Harpole chooses this obscure YouTuber to give an interview to. We were all going, that's kind of weird, right? And then all of a sudden, Turning Point USA is just platforming him, giving him alibis. I'm actual friend of Charlie Kirk asking, hey man, what's going on here? They're sliding him kids that are not Erica's to a guy that doesn't even understand what an alibi is. He's like, why does it matter if it's her kids? Why does it matter if she's in the photo? It's her alibi, isn't it? Well, I don't want to explain that to you, Gary.
See, one of the things with this whole situation with Turning Point USA is like somebody, I think Patrick Bet David said, why don't they just bring in a new CEO that can make better decisions for Turning Point USA? Well, in my opinion, the only people that they can employ or pay to do anything for or with Turning Point USA has to be another idiot or another person that they can control, like the Paramount tactical dude. The reason why is if a CEO would come in and just take over and start making changes at Turning Point USA, I would say in the first 3 days of being there, they would literally find out that Turning Point USA allegedly, in my opinion, had something to do with Charlie Kirk getting unalived. So because of that secret that the CEO would instantly be able to find out, because I'm sure if we know or think or feel or assume, because I don't want to get sued, the CEO looking at paperwork, looking at the taxes, looking at this, looking at that, looking at the dates, looking at video, right then and there, they'd be like, what the hell? And then Turning Point USA would have to get rid of him or her. So anybody that they pay, employ, or get the help, Turning Point USA, most likely has to be yet another idiot, because they're the only person or the people that would actually not say anything because out of fear of anything. because a lot of these people, whether it's turning Erica Kirk, whether it's Paramount Tactical, whether it's Ben Shapiro, they're literally ruining their own lives in real time because they're on the side of Turning Point USA. The entire world is aware that Turning Point USA is full of idiots. So it is what it is. It just is what it is. So Paramount Tactical, in my opinion, is an idiot, and he's ruining his channel. He's ruining his brand for like $150,000. I don't know if it's a month, if it's just that, because I'm sure he didn't just ruin his whole life for that much money or for that little amount of money. I'm sure it's like per month or something. I don't know. But regardless of what, it's stupid.
Would you know? How weird that Brian Harpole chooses this obscure YouTuber to give an interview to. We were all going, that's kind of weird, right? And then all of a sudden, Turning Point USA is just platforming him, giving him alibis. I'm actual friend of Charlie Kirk asking, hey, man, what's going on here? They're sliding him kids that are not Erica's to a guy that doesn't even understand what an alibi is. He's like, why does it matter if it's her kids?
Right. He's so stupid. He doesn't even realize why.
Isn't it? Well, I don't want to explain that to you, Gary, because this is not a preschool. Okay.
It's not a preschool.
You need to understand by yourself why that alibi doesn't work.
You can't show 13-year-old kids, most likely they were like 9 or whatever, 9-year-old kids that we all know Erica Kirk's kids are like 2 and 3 or 1 and 2 or whatever. You'll turn around and look like a liar. But Paramount Tactical is like, what are you talking about? What's the problem? They're not her kids in the picture.
If they're not Erica's kids, I want you to get there by yourself, Gary. Anyway, the receipts are here. On September 24, 2025, he received $39,000 for individual equipment. And then on September 29th, 5 days later, he received $151,000 for night vision equipment. That seems weird.
Turning Point USA, or not really Turning Point USA, even worse, the Department of Defense. They're buying supplies from Paramount Tactical, in order to circumvent the fact that they're paying him money in order to shield for them. But here's the problem with buying products from a person. We have a certain amount of overhead when we sell products, right? When I sell my card games, I have to spend thousands of dollars to buy the card games in order to resell them, right? So the difference between somebody paying me money to do something versus spending a whole bunch of money and buying a huge inventory of my card games, as an example, with him, it's tactical equipment. You're not getting all of the money because you had to pay a certain amount of money for the equipment. So they gave him, say, $150,000. Part of that $150,000 isn't his own money because he had to buy the equipment. I would rather you just give me $150,000 as income so I can have the $150,000 and my equipment. Because if you buy me out and now I have no equipment to sell to other people, I kind of like took a loss in a way. So I want you to give you the money. I don't want you to just buy stuff from me. I want you to give me just the money. But I think Paramount Tactical is too stupid to actually know that or do that, or that this is the only way that they can like circumvent the fact that they are paying him off in order to shield for them. One of the two things. But this is just dumb. Like, don't buy my stuff. Pay me, because I'm losing money. Because now I don't have stuff to sell to other people. Because if Paramount Tactical is making money with his equipment, you're buying all of my equipment so I can't sell to other people.
On September 24, 2025, he received $39,000 for individual equipment. And then on September 29th, 5 days later, he received $151,000 for night vision equipment. That seems weird. Does that seem weird to you? The Department of Defense decided to just give him that sort of money? Because we went to his website, and maybe I'm missing something. I've never claimed to be a military guy. In fact, people like Gary kind of scare me. Like dumb people with guns, not a great thing.
Dumb people
when you go to his
guns.
website, he doesn't make his own gear. So you would think that if the Department of Defense needed night vision goggles, they'd go to someone who makes them, the actual manufacturer. You get a better price if you did that, rather than going to a third-party site run by an idiot named Gary Melton.
Do y'all see what I'm saying? This is equipment, like tactical equipment costs a lot of money. So the overhead, well, not really the overhead, the amount of money that he would make off of the equipment is like this amount of money. Like, for example, say I buy, like from a tactical equipment standpoint, compared to my car games, it's totally different. If you're buying night vision goggles, right? And say, let's see, how much are night vision goggles? How much are tactical night vision goggles? Say they're like $400, and say you buy them from the manufacturer for $200. You're buying hundreds of goggles that you're costing you $200. That's thousands of dollars that you had to spend. So for them to come in and buy all of my night vision goggles for $150,000, I'm not making any money really, because I'm not just selling you a product. You're asking me to do a service for you. And that's the biggest thing. So you're paying for a service and my product for the same amount of money. So I'm not making any money because I still got to give you a service. Because like I said, with Ben Shapiro and all these other people, they're ruining their brand by shilling for the country or shilling for Turning Point USA. Their entire world looks at Turning Point USA like a bunch of idiots. So you, as a person that is taken up for Turning Point USA, you're also looking like an idiot, which is ruining your brand. And they're giving you money to ruin your brand. So you need money to live off of after your brand is ruined after year 1 or year 2. So you're looking like an idiot, Paramount Tactical, for doing this, especially if they're using up all of your inventory that you can't sell to somebody else. You're an idiot.
To buy the equipment. That seems weird. The timing's weird. It's suspicious. It is what it is. I just thought that I would let you guys know that that's been going around, and we fact checked it, and it is true.
That equipment is very expensive, even when you buy it from the manufacturer. So your the money you make off the equipment is not a lot of money.
So there's a lot of that going around. Remember our decoy boy number 2, his dad too got a massive contract with the Department of Defense.
See, getting contracts and then I got to do a service for you makes no sense. Like, just pay me to kiss your ass. I don't want you to give me a contract because I'm doing 2 different things at the same time. Because now I still got to buy more inventory with your money that you paid me. So now I ain't got no damn money because I had to re-up on inventory to sell other people. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm saying and you understand where or how this is absolutely stupid. I do not want nobody to come in and say, I'll buy all of your car games. No, because now I can't sell car games to the people who want to buy car games. It's not done. Yes, Tone, is not tactical at all. And that's the reason why, not Erica, Candace calls him Paramount not so tactical, because it's stupid.
Built app, massive contract, right leading up to Charlie's death. Fascinating. Turning Point USA has a lot of money and they have a lot of power. And what happened over the weekend finally put Erica Kirk within a context that I can understand. Erica Kirk is the COVID vaccine. Okay, no one can debate this. I'm right. It's a fact. She has been introduced to the public with the exact same PR scripts, the exact same emotion, with the exact same global institutional governance and backing. Erica Kirk is the COVID vaccine, and we're now on the 4th booster. So that's 4th booster is like when everybody knows that they're lying.
So what she's saying is, just like they lied to us about the stuff, I don't want to say it. She can say it. I don't want to say it. They're lying to us about Erica. And just like they were running around trying to give us hamburgers if you took the stuff, giving you what else did they give us or attempt to give us for taking the jab, y'all? I remember it was hamburgers. Like you can get a free hamburger or something at I forgot. I think it was at McDonald's. What else were they giving everybody in order to take the stuff? I don't remember, but it was just the dumbest thing in the world. And everybody was like, yo, I'm not taking that. Are you dumb? But that's kind of like what's going on with Erica Kirk. They just made Erica head of the Air Force or some shit. So they're doing stuff to make Erica Kirk look like she's not stupid. Bags of weed. Wait, it was bags of weed? Donuts? That's what I'm saying. Like in some cities or states, weed is legal. So they were giving out gift cards, donuts, weed, Krispy Kreme donuts, y'all. Like I don't like a donut costs $1.30. One donut costs $1.30. 12 a dozen donuts is like $4. Why in the hell would I go ruin my life getting this shit just for a dozen of donuts? But that's how much they think we're stupid. And that's my point. Well, that's Candace's point. People think we're stupid when they prop up Erica Kirk like she's somebody. She's an idiot, just like Paramount Tactical is. But everybody there
know that it's corrupt, and still they're just going to keep attempting to force it upon the population, not just on the adults, but now on the kids, right? Club America is for high schoolers, and that's coming too. You're going to take her too. And just like COVID in the beginning, there was a global emergency, right? People were fearful. Charlie Kirk died, and the world felt uncertain. I didn't know who to look to. We're looking for some sort of an authority. People wanted to do their part and believe that they could come together. We wanted to believe the news media that we were all in this together and experiencing this pain of losing Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, so it was kind of like this cold coping mechanism that they are, because it's still going on now, that they are trying to give us or get us to experience. They put this distraught widow in front of us, and she's crying and whining about Charlie Kirk to make us cry and whine about Charlie Kirk. But when are they going to realize that it isn't working and it hasn't worked? And the reason why it hasn't worked, and we can see proof of it not working, is how much we're making fun of this dumbass woman with all of these freaking videos. Where's videos? Videos are like
I get called so many names. I genuinely don't care. When you kiss the bloody dead. Having lived through quite literal hell these past 7 months.
Everyone grieves differently.
And this. So they are able to easily see that we're not falling for this mess, and we think Erica Kirk is an idiot, but they keep putting it in front of us, just like with the jab. Like the lockdowns, was it 2 years or 3 years? I think it was like 2 years, right? How many years did the COVID lockdown occur? Because I wasn't locked down. Atlanta, we still partied, we still had get-togethers. None of us in Atlanta cared about it. Like it was, we all knew here it was stupid. So we didn't experience any type of lockdowns. Police wasn't pulling us over. We always was outside. It never affected us here. So with me in my life, I have no idea how long the lockdown was going on because we weren't locked down. 2020. Oh, it was only 1 year? Okay, 1 year. I thought it was like 2 years. But are we going to have to deal with a year of Erica Kirk run around acting like she's this widow until they realize that it's not working?
Suddenly a star is born. Instant stardom, a la Dr. Fauci. But this time we've got Erica Kirk being foisted upon the public. And then things got weird. And they got weird pretty quickly, right? This is like nurses are doing TikTok dances. And we don't really know why. Erica starts making the evil eyes and we're unsure. We're all in this together turned into Turning Point is my family. People had questions about how quickly this was being rolled out. The vaccine, Erica Kirk, like really Erica Kirk is going to be appointed the CEO and chairman this soon, a couple of days after. Doesn't she need time to grieve? Shouldn't she maybe take a beat, go home, be with her kids? Right now, all of a sudden, they drop the influencers. Your feed is being filled with influencers, celebrities, politicians telling you to roll up your sleeves and take the Erica. Just take it. Take the Erica.
Take the Erica is crazy.
Nicki Minaj. You got JD Vance up there lecturing you. You got President Trump. You've got Ben Shapiro. Take the Erica dopes. But something in your gut is saying, this feels wrong. This feels too fast. You get a sense like they already had Erica ready somehow. Like she was already in the chamber before Charlie even passed. Right? You're starting to look at this. This picture just doesn't pass the gut check. Now the government is starting to get a little desperate. They see there's this fracture in trust. They've got a lot of money behind this thing.
And then there's more lies coming out because this is something new that is coming out now. Watch this.
Breaking news. It has just been uncovered that Turning Point USA may be engaged in massive criminal charity fraud. Over the last few months, the folks over at the Unfuck America tour has been investigating Turning Point USA. And what they discovered is actually pretty shocking. So if you don't know, Turning Point USA is a Christian conservative nonprofit group. And they claim to be the largest and fastest growing youth organization in America. And they claim to have Turning Point USA chapters in over 3,500 schools. But it turns out a lot of those chapters might not be real. Here's audio recording from a regional Turning Point USA field representative. And she claims that out of the 12 chapters that she managed, 40% were fake.
I was handed 12 chapters and only 7 of them were actually real. The other 5, I found out, the previous field reps' family members had pretended to open up a chapter so that they could claim those chapters on campuses, and then the rest were legitimately fake contact information, bounced back, texts bounced, calls failed.
The Unfuck America tour investigated 72 high schools that had verified Turning Point USA chapters. And guess how many of those schools had legitimate chapters? 7. We're talking fake chapters with fake numbers, with fake students at fake schools. Some students even claimed that they were offered financial incentives to go out into the world and create new Turning Point USA chapters. So if this is all true, here's how the scheme works. Turning Point USA pays students to go out and create fake Turning Point USA chapters. And then they use those inflated chapter numbers to show to their donors and raise donor money. Go check out the new documentary that the Unfuck America tour just dropped. The investigation is so well done. And don't forget to follow me for the best takes on the internet.
And let's look into this a little bit. Where is it? Because there's a lot of different things coming out. Why didn't it? What? Okay. All right. So we'll talk about this also because I can't find the freaking video that I just sent to my computer. All right. So
do you think they excavated so much dirt?
So this is another thing that has come out in the last couple of days. This is the guy that he was a contractor that poured cement over the site right when Charlie Kirk passed away, like the Sunday after Charlie Kirk passed away.
Why do you think they excavated so much dirt? You think that they were trying to make sure they got any bullet fragments or anything that was in there?
I wasn't looking at it with that lens, dude.
Really?
I wasn't.
It didn't even cross your mind?
It didn't cross my mind. Here's the thing. You were saying stuff on social media. Everybody's saying stuff on social media.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I had been, I got so disheartened with social media because they just spin everything and they talk shit and fear mongering and hate sells. And I didn't want to see it. I knew there was videos out there. Right when I pulled into town when it happened, I Googled it and I saw the video from afar, right, of Charlie getting shot. And I thought, man, I don't want to see that shit. This guy got shot. You see it, you know he's probably dead.
So this is a contractor that paved over the area.
Or dying, right? I don't want to see somebody murdered, especially a good man, a father and a husband. So I hadn't been on social media. I had stayed away from it. My wife had been on it, and she was a wreck, bro. She was just, all that ugliness was just. So when I got the call, I thought, you better fucking believe it. I'm going to go help. That was all it was. I'm going to go help these guys. He's asking for help. They want to do it right. He framed it in the sense that, hey, we want this to be done right. So that's why I showed up. So, I mean, to do pavers correctly, you over excavate. You get rid of the topsoil.
Oh, you do?
You do, 100%. Okay. You want to get a good base. And these guys had kind of, there was two guys in charge and a ragtag crew. One of the guys was in charge of a state-owned facility in American Fork. And the other guy was in a maintenance groundskeeper on a facility in Provo. And these are the two guys I'm corresponding with. The first guy, the second guy that I hadn't talked to on the phone basically said, hey, look, we're not talking to anybody. We're not saying anything to the media. He says this is above our pay grade. The FBI and the state, the governor and the FBI, that's what they told me. The governor and the FBI said they want this done by Monday. And we need to get it done. We're not asking.
The government and the FBI said they needed to get this done. Why is the FBI paying him to do this? And this is the reason why this whole thing sounds crazy. I want to play this last part.
This is above our pay grade. The FBI and the state, the governor and the FBI, that's what they told me. The governor and the FBI said they want this done by Monday.
Why? Like, say there's an accident on the freeway and somebody passes away. Of course, they're going to rush to, get all the pieces of the car off the road so nobody won't run over, the glass or whatever. Yes, they would rush to tow the truck away or to tow the car away. Yes, they would rush to get the people out of the car that was in the accident. But this right here is repaving. So it's not removing the bodies. It's not removing the stuff that is all on the grass. This is repaving the ground. Why? Why are you repaving the damn ground? It's not cleaning up. It's repaving. So this is literally them hiding shit. Still can't find a video. All right, so I'll go back to Candace.
Bringing in large corporations now, they're offering you Charlie even passed, right? You're starting to look at this. This picture just doesn't pass the gut check. Now the government is starting to get a little desperate. They see there's this fracture in trust. They've got a lot of money behind this thing.
Yeah.
They're bringing in large corporations now, and they're offering you Krispy Kreme donuts. You guys remember that? Krispy Kreme donuts for free. You get the vaccine, free beer, free marijuana joints. This is all real. These headlines. Free Super Bowl tickets. White Castle's dessert on a stick. That's weird. That one's White Castle invites all to celebrate their vaccines with complimentary dessert on a stick. I don't even, is White Castle doing dessert? It's going to be free. Sam Adams is giving you free beer. NFL, everybody's getting involved now if you accept the vaccine. Okay, Turning Point USA is now paying their chapter leaders to stay on board because everybody wants to quit. Suddenly, we're realizing that we're being targeted. And you're thinking, is this vaccine going to kill us all?
Right.
Because it's safe and effective, is now suddenly she's a grieving widow. We hear it over and over and over again. Everyone keeps saying it, but it doesn't ring true. And they've got the journalists, the government, the military, the Zionists, they're all in cahoots again. And whenever this unholy alliance begins to collude to tell you that something or someone is okay, it's because that someone and something probably isn't. Okay, is that fair? I feel like that is historically accurate. What happens next is a few brave people step into the fold and they begin to ask the right questions. Hey, why do I feel like Erica Kirk is going to kill me every time she speaks? Why is she dressed like an assassin? What's with the glitter pants? What exactly is she doing inside of the drapery? And then when they ask those questions, the entire ecosystem comes down crashing, trying to destroy them.
Like, if you just think about all the crazy, stupid things that this woman has said, like, something's really wrong with her.
My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead.
Like, who says some shit?
My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead.
Stop.
Like, she just says the dumbest shit over and over again.
Because how dare you ask these sorts of questions? And then the final stage of COVID is when we begin catching our government in outright lies. That's where we are right now. We're like, hey, government, you said that if I got the vaccine, I wouldn't get COVID, but I got the vaccine
and I got
COVID twice.
Twice, yeah.
So what's up? And then the government, they don't like when you catch them out in lies, right? So when you catch them in something that they said, they then roll out the experts.
And then the thing about it is, man, why is it that the government is the main entity that lies to people? Like, say you meet somebody, right? And they turn out to be a liar, right? Imagine the government lying to you more than the person that you just started dating that was lying to you. Like, at some point, you're going to meet another person that isn't a liar. But when it comes to the government, it's like all they do is lie. Like, what kind of entity always lies to you? And unlike a person that you're dating, you can't get rid of them. You depend on them and they just keep lying to you. And there's nothing you can do about it. This shit is weird. All right, did the video show up this time? Yeah, here it is. So this is part one of the investigation on Turning Point. I think this is a little longer than the other video, so I wanted to play the longer version.
12 chapters, and only 7 of them were actually real. The other 5, I found out, the previous field reps' family members had.
So mind you, this is another example of the government lying to us because the government is Turning Point USA and Turning Point USA is the government.
I was handed 12 chapters and only 7 of them were actually real.
And I know that I played this earlier, but this is a longer version of the documentary.
The other 5, I found out, the previous field reps' family members had pretended to open up a chapter so that they could claim those chapters on campuses, and then the rest were legitimately fake contact information, bounced back, texts bounced, calls failed. No.
Listen to the media repeat basically the same line over and over and over, all on different stations.
While looking for health information in the Twitterverse. Be extra cautious while looking for health information in the Twitterverse.
Be extra cautious while looking for health information in the Twitterverse.
Be extra cautious while looking for health information in the Twitterverse.
Be extra cautious while looking for health information on the Twitterverse.
Be extra cautious while looking for health information on the Twitterverse. Be extra cautious while looking for health information in the Twitterverse. Be extra cautious while looking for health information on Twitter.
Y'all see this, right? This is the government lying to you over and over and over again.
Twitter. Be extra cautious while looking at health information on Twitter. Be extra cautious while looking for health information on Twitter. Be extra cautious while looking for health information on Twitter.
Be extra cautious while you're looking for health information on Twitter.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 And this right here, this is extremely dangerous to our democracy part. I believe it was during the COVID stuff, because it was a lot of misinformation that they were accusing us of having. My Instagram page got deleted back then because I was giving out misinformation according to them. And this is kind of like they were saying about this little wording they're using here. This was during COVID.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 So this is what I'm saying. Like, an entity that just keeps lying to you every day you wake up is scary, bro. It's very scary. All right, so let's go back to Candace. Oh, no, not Candace. This Turning Point USA stuff.
It's actually verifying the student's identity.
So this is a lie that Turning Point USA has all these chapters.
Please welcome Turning Point USA CEO and Chair Erica Kirk.
I'm going to do a separate live stream about these chapters.
Movement of students, a movement of ideas, a movement that spans thousands of campuses across the United States.
The goal is for these clubs to be in every high school across the state.
In its own filings, the organization claims to operate more than 1,800 campus chapters and to be active on more than 30,000 high school and college campuses.
Great question. Start a Turning Point USA chapter.
It says its program reaches millions of students. And behind that movement is money. In a single year, Turning Point USA spent more than $20 million on what it calls its field program, the part of the organization responsible for building and supporting these chapters. Altogether, it raises more than $80 million annually. That money comes from donors who are told they're funding something very specific.
So this is the key part right here. The money comes from donors. And they're telling donors that Turning Point USA is doing something charitable, helping young people. And they're not doing that. And this puts the donors in a position where if they felt the need to, they can sue Turning Point USA, but they might get backlash due to the fact that Turning Point USA is directly in cahoots with the president of the United States. So you can't do anything about it except for not stop donating.
A nationwide grassroots network of young people organizing, educating, and reshaping the future of American politics from the ground up.
Turning Point USA meets every other Thursday in room 312. Anybody's invited.
The story is simple. A bottom-up student movement built chapter by chapter, campus by campus.
Put your hand up if you're in high school. Okay.
And it's not just a marketing story. These same claims appear in official tax filings, documents submitted to the federal government, where Turning Point USA describes itself as a nonpartisan educational nonprofit and certifies that it does not engage in political campaign activity.
Point Action and Turning Point USA.
This is the foundation of the organization. It's what justifies the money. It's what sustains the mission. It's what donors believe they are funding.
What they've done is put America right back on the right course.
But what if the numbers don't mean what they actually seem to mean? What if the chapter isn't what you think it is? What if the movement isn't actually there? We started asking a simple question, not about politics, not about ideology, just about reality. Are these chapters even real?
No, they're not real. Shout out to Danks. Danks is working on a show getting more in depth with all of this. But no, nothing's real when it comes to Turning Point USA. Shout out to Up with BM. Erica Kirk is the virus, and everyone shielding for her. Shielding for her is the death counter. Exactly. Love the show, Mr. Lego. Keep up the great content. Thank you so much. Yes, it was actually a death counter. I don't know if y'all remember that, but it was a point when this whole lockdown first happened in New York. They made up this big lie, and it was a disgusting lie. They literally said that so many people are falling out dead in New York. And let me know if y'all remember this. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all remember this. So many people were falling out in New York and passing away, where they literally pulled up a tractor trailer truck and they said they were just dumping the people in the tractor trailer truck because it was so many bodies where they didn't have anywhere to put them. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all remember that. It was all a lie. And then somebody came in to that same hospital and they took a video of the parking lot, and the parking lot was empty. So that means there were no patients. And then they would turn around and tell people, you can't come in and see your parents or your kinfolks because they don't want you to get it. And then to go even farther, what's going on, So Real TV Media? What's up? They literally would have people that would get shot from gun violence that would pass away, and they would change the label on the toe, which is the cause of death, and they would say the person died off of the COVID and not the gun violence. It was a point in hospitals where they would pay the hospital a kickback if the amount of deaths coming from their hospital were from COVID, they would get a certain amount of money from the federal government. So everybody that died from old age, gunshot wounds, cancer, or some stabbing would literally be marked as a COVID death because the government was paying the hospital kickback, and it was crazy. And now we got another lie from Turning Point USA. The shit is just really bad, man.
Psychologists, the psychiatrists, to convince the public that even noticing the government lies and not just said that if I got the vaccine, I wouldn't get COVID, but I got the vaccine and then I got COVID twice. So what's up? And then the government, they don't like when you catch them out in lies, right? So when you catch them in something that they said, they then roll out the experts, the psychologists, the psychiatrists, to convince the public
Fauci.
that even noticing the government lies and not just trusting them blindly.
And then it's kind of like different levels of lying. So at first you got Paramount Tactical coming out saying, hey, everything that y'all are seeing is true and it's okay. There's nothing else to see here, right? And then they prance out another person. And then they prance out Erica Kirk. What is the next level of the liar? So it's like a next level of a liar. Paramount Tactical, this person, like just like with the jab. So the first person that came out about the jab was just the patients, and it was just news about patients dying. And then when everything started falling apart, then they put out Fauci, and Fauci came in front of us for a good month. I think the Fauci of the Turning Point USA thing may actually be Andrew COVID or somebody. I think it's going to be a new person because Fauci came out later when everybody started realizing everything was a lie. So who is the government's Fauci this time?
Is something that only a psychopath would do. Why would you not just trust us blindly? Only a narcissist would recognize that we, the government, are completely full of shit and making things up as we go along. Do you guys remember that? There were legitimate studies being done by psychiatrists and psychologists diagnosing people who simply said, no, thank you, you're lying regarding the vaccine. Here's an example. I'm showing you a real study. You don't remember what we lived through, guys. It was trauma. The study is entitled The Impact of the Dark Triad Personality Traits on COVID-19 Vaccination Uptake. And here we have highlighted, we add to a deeper understanding of vaccination hesitancy by identifying what drives primary vaccination and booster uptake, as well as adherence to simple preventative measures, such as physical distancing, by investigating the role of dark triad personality traits, Machiavellianism, narcissism, psychopathy. Oh, okay. Specifically, individuals scoring high in psychopathy are associated with a lower likelihood of having received primary immunization. Guys, you're a psycho. If you question us, you're just a psycho.
Right.
Again, this is exactly where we are at in the Erica Kirk story. We're asking to see evidence, noticing they have told us lies, and we're now getting diagnosed. And I just have to tee that up because I'm so amazed, jaw on the floor at what took place over the weekend, okay? So to back this up, obviously, we broke the story. We've been keeping the countdown here. As soon as I realized something was not right with this video, right, Erica Kirk carefully described to Megyn Kelly, right? She sat down with Megyn Kelly, talked about how Charlie Kirk, look at the tears in her eye.
And this is always the look. See, this is the Fauci, or the next person may be the Fauci, but they took this picture on purpose to make it look like, oh my God, look at this woman. We need to empathize for her. But at the end of the day, she probably had something to do with this whole thing. Y'all remember this? Where's video? Where's video? Is it this? No. Where's the video? Oh, here it is right here. Look at this.
The most unbelievable part of the entire thing is that...
Sorry about it being so loud. Damn, that was loud. So here's another part, because this was from this from from a month ago.
The most unbelievable part of the entire thing is that Erica Kirk video where she's walking by and she's going, I just want to go home. Girl, you haven't been home since September. You are in the streets constantly. You are in multiple cities on multiple stages with multiple walkout songs, sparkly jumpsuits, and microphones. That is, if you just said, just get me out of here, you literally could have said anything else and I might have been more sold. We just want you to go home too. Go home. I literally can't. How is it that the second that you get within earshot of an iPhone, you can say under your breath perfectly? Like, I do have to give credit where credit is due because I do hold a bachelor's in theater and I don't think I could get my timing right while walking and then with the head down. The acting is getting better. I think we are seeing somebody getting some coaching possibly. Like, we're doing multiple takes of things. We definitely know how to be in and around iPhones and all of that kind of stuff now, which is really exciting. You could have literally looked at the camera and said, God says hi, like he just spoke to you. And it would have been more believable to me.
He's a female. She's saying, I'm just scared. And like, I'm looking online and people are saying like, they're just saying like they want me to die. And I'm just like, I'm just so overwhelmed right now, Mr. Vice President. I'm just so overwhelmed. Dab, 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 no tears. Dab, 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 no tears. I'm so overwhelmed. And he was probably like, oh my God. And my kids, I just don't want my kids to be an orphan, Mr. Vice President. I know, I'm so sorry.
And this is what we have to deal with. And this is the lie. And I just don't really, okay. I understand why they want us to believe her, because out of all of the people, I think Erica Kirk is one of the only people, in this whole situation that somebody would actually believe or empathize with. So this is overall an empathy play, but one day you're this crying widow But another day, you say stuff like this.
You seen this video of Erica Kirk?
Yeah,
my question.
No.
Like,
Dying Charlie has
that.
the patience of Job, and I'm like sitting there like, if you move one step closer to my husband, he is so.
So now listen to how tough she sounds right here. So one day she's tough, and the next day she's a crying widow.
Calm, cool, and collected, and I'm the pit bull. So like the Lebanese Italian.
See, she says, I'm the pit bull.
Have you seen this video of Erica Kirk? It's a good one.
Yeah,
my question.
No.
Like,
Charlie has the patience of Job, and I'm like sitting there like, if you move one step closer to my husband, he is so calm, cool, and collected, and I'm the pit bull. So like the Lebanese Italian side of me is like,
She's not a pit
I know
bull.
a guy. The Lebanese Italian side of me is like, I know a guy. I know a guy.
Hey, Erica, why were you just appointed to the Air Force Academy Board over the weekend quietly to make recommendations on changes to the Air Force Academy?
My husband was on the board. I'm just taking his place.
Or it could be that you're from a famous crime family. You're from a famous crime family. You're from a famous crime family. On both sides. Actually, your mom's side, Loretta Abbas was her maiden name. Yeah, she was named after her grandmother, Loretta Abbas, who was a notorious crime lady. There's so many news articles of her arrests of laundering money, dirty money schemes, things to do with casinos. Here's an article about her husband being arrested after a high-speed chase with police, and he was also doing dirty money schemes as well with the mob. Like, your mom's been married 4 times, and all of her husbands have had something to do with little schemes that she was in, and she starts businesses and kills businesses, and she lobbies the government for money for charter schools that actually, they use psychology to help kids at charter schools that you went to. And actually this guy who worked with Stanford on ways to manipulate the mind to help drug users. You went there. It's called the Arizona Tazarek School, inspired by a book called Wrinkle in Time, which is a fun kids book about a battle between good and evil. And it was also rented from a building owned by a Jewish school whose Hebrew name translates to Looking Glass School, like Project Looking Glass. Isn't that crazy?
It's not there anymore.
But what was inside of this Bible was a pentagram, and in the middle of the pentagram was a pentagon, where it was pretty clear that what they did was they worshipped and they did sacrifices in this pentagon. And a lot of people are saying that Charlie Kirk was a sacrifice, and I thought that was pretty crazy until I saw that he was in a pentagon when he was murdered.
No one's going to believe this silly little narrative of yours.
Right, because you keep them distracted with all the glitter and the fireworks and the shiny outfits.
Remember when this guy was taken out on September 10th, 2020?
This part isn't Charlie Kirk. It isn't even TPUSA. The strangest part is the lineage behind it. Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino wrote a book called Mind War while stationed at the Presidio in San Francisco.
And this right here is the reason why Erica Kirk will never be looked at as a widow or a grieving widow. She said it herself. She knows a guy. She has an Italian Lebanese background. This woman that I just played a second ago talked about who her kinfolks are, along with her mother. But it gets even darker. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button, and drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at to the new people who just came in. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at to the new people who just came in.
Not a self-help book, not a political rant, a blueprint.
Now, this is Turning Point USA. This is all Turning Point USA. Let me back this up, because some of y'all didn't see this.
The strangest part isn't Charlie Kirk. It isn't even TPUSA. The strangest part is the lineage behind it. Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino wrote a book called Mind War while stationed at the Presidio in San Francisco. Not a self-help book, not a political rant, a blueprint for psychological warfare, mass persuasion, narrative control, cognitive terrain. And Aquino was also an open Satanist. He never hid it, never denied it.
Aquino and his wife, you are a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army.
Correct.
Now, and how does the Army feel about you being head of the Temple of Set?
The Army has known about my religion for the entire span of my Army career, which began in 1968. And there was a reasonable amount of curiosity, as there has been all the way along, with what exactly is this strange and unusual thing. And I've talked about it in much the same way that I've talked here today on your show about it. And other than that, the Army has paid very little attention to it, the same as it would to anybody who is, say, a follower of Hinduism or of Buddhism or any other slightly unusual religion today.
So you just go about your Army duties and it's fine and okay? Yeah.
Now here's the part people skip past. Aquino didn't write Mind War alone. His collaborative with retired Major General Paul E. Vallely. Fast forward.
Paul E. Vallely is most likely, I haven't checked recently, but either he was on the board or is still on the board of advisors for Turning Point USA. So Paul E. Vallely is or was on the board of advisors for Turning Point USA. Watch this. Pay attention.
Vallely sits on the board at Turning Point USA. So take a step back. Strip away the merch, the slogans, the crowd noise. What is TPUSA actually doing? It's not just debating ideas. It's persuasion at scale, changing minds, moving groups, steering perception. And when the same people tied to a psychological warfare playbook are embedded inside a movement built to shape mass belief, coincidence stops being a useful explanation. This isn't about symbols. This is about methods. Because Mind War doesn't care what flag you wave. It only cares that you don't notice you're waving it.
Okay, literally, thank you for bringing this to my attention. I think maybe I've just been living under a rock because I didn't know this, but I am shook and I'm going to share with you guys. So this guy right here is Michael Aquino. He was a psychological warfare specialist in the U.S. Army from '68 until 1990. He was involuntarily discharged because of allegations of ritual sexual abuse of children.
Uh-oh. I shouldn't have played that. Oh, shit. Damn it. Why didn't I edit that out? Why did I not edit that out? Damn it. YouTube's going to get at me. Quick commercial break. We'll come back. I got to see if I can edit that part out.
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions.
Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
So for any content creator out there, if you mess up and you need to edit something out, do something like what I just did. And then when you go back to edit the video, you'll know exactly what a video is. I mean, what a part is that you have to edit out. So once this live stream is over, I'm going to go back into YouTube editing, right? And I'm going to look for my commercial that I just played because it's easier to find. And then I'm going to be able to go right before the commercial and then boom, edit it out. So for any of you who are content creators, put a 1 in the chat if you're a content creator. I just gave you something that you can use. So I don't know if I want to hear the rest because she might say some more stuff. Golly.
He was still, the specialist in the Army. But it doesn't stop there. I Googled his name further. Guess what? Michael Aquino, the Church of Satan. So obviously.
So Michael Aquino wrote a book called The Church of Satan.
I read about the author to make sure it
So I said, like mother, like children.
was him. And it was. And he actually has a couple other books as well.
Look at this.
And evidently he was a super rare political military officer in the psychological operations unit. I hate that.
Dr. Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino and his wife Lilith are the heads of the world's leading satanic cult, the Temple of Set.
Fort Huachuca is one of the most important military bases in the United States, but if you were to ask an average American where it is, they wouldn't be able to point to it on a map. Now, before we go any further, quick poll in the comments. Have any of you heard of Fort Huachuca before today? And be honest, I know you can't see it clearly on this map, but this is Fort Huachuca, and it sits on the southeastern tip of Arizona, and it borders Mexico.
And it borders Mexico. The reason why that is significant, I don't know why he didn't bring this up, but Fort Huachuca borders Mexico. The reason why that is so significant is that whatever they do in Fort Huachuca they can circumvent the thing because they're right there, they're on the border of Mexico. On top of that, they can bring in people from Mexico that are undocumented and do whatever they want to do to them because they're at the border of Mexico. And Fort Huachuca is the government. Fort Huachuca is a military base. So they're the government. So they wanted to bring in some undocumented immigrants and do whatever they want to do with them. They are free to do that because they sit on the border of Mexico.
Huachuca has been around since the late 1800s, and it was originally used to control the frontier, but
let's see. Arwen says, did you see the guy on Fox News with the face mask? Can you elaborate on that, Arwen? What happened? Who had a face mask? I have no idea, but it sounds like something that I may need to be paying attention to. So can you give me some more information on that?
what it is now is completely different. Today, Fort Huachuca is basically the brain center for military intelligence, cybersecurity, electronic warfare, and surveillance training. This is where Army intelligence officers are trained. If it
Okay, hold on a second. Check the map. It's not on the border. I'm from Arizona. I have been there. Bridget, can you give me some more information on that then? You said you've been there. Would you like to come up on the show and give me some information or share your information that you have since you've been there, Bridget? So Bridget, let me know and I'll drop the link, and I would love for you to come up and give me some more information on that. So if it's not on the border of Mexico, let me know. Like, I'll drop the link if you want to come on the show.
involves signals, data, drones, or information warfare, it most likely passes through Fort Huachuca. So while most other bases teaches soldiers how to fight physically, Fort Huachuca teaches officers how to fight with information. And in modern warfare, everybody knows that data and information is king. Fort Huachuca is quiet and remote and intentionally low profile, which raises an interesting question. How many places like this exist that we never even think about?
Where's the video? I thought I had a video ready. So hold on one second. Where is the video? Want to go a little farther with that Aquino guy. All right, I'll come back to it.
The economy is worth tens of trillions of dollars per year. Politics largely dictates where that money goes. It shouldn't.
Shout out to Baron. Baron is taking a little break. Yeah, he's taking a little break. Shout out to Baron.
It should be the free market, but it's not. It's a blood sport. And if you're going to cry, you're not cut out for it. I never saw Tim Phillips cry when he lost races or someone said mean things about him.
And he's talking about Erica Kirk running around crying all the time. But the thing about it is, it's fake crying in order to garner somebody to empathize with her. She's actually a whole gangster out here.
Somebody built that organization from the ground up, a group of people, but it cannot withstand what's happening to it right now. I want to go back to the PBD podcast.
I don't have anything against Erica Kirk. I think Turning Point USA needs a better face. I think Turning Point USA needs a better face. I think she can be chairman of the board, but I don't think she's CEO. Go hire a recruiting firm. Vet them out by the right voices. A good board, a mixture of people from different conservatives. I don't know who the board is today. I don't have a clue who's sitting on the board. But they got to hurry up and find somebody.
They can't do that because the second they find somebody, they'll find out that Turning Point USA may, I don't want to get sued, have something to do directly with Charlie Kirk's death. So they can't bring somebody new in because they'll figure out that they have something to do with Charlie Kirk's death, allegedly.
Because
just my opinion. They didn't, you know what? I'm just going to say this. They had nothing to do with Charlie Kirk's death. Okay. I don't want to get sued. So I'm going to say that on record. I'm joking. This is satire. Okay. Don't sue me. Okay. It's only my opinion and it's satire. I don't want no problems.
There's only a couple of these events you can pull where you invite everybody, then it becomes a show. There's not a face. It's just a show. If it's just a show, it's another thing. I think there's chairman of the board. There is COO operations that's aligned with them, but they need a person that's going to go out there doing the work. She's not going to go on campuses debating. That's not her job. No, that's not her natural place to be. She can go to churches and do all the stuff that she's doing great. They truly need to make a decision because TPUSA is a very important arm of the young conservative movement.
Yeah.
This has to continue in a very different, intentional, strategic way. They got to hire a firm, sit down and say, how would you do it if you were us? They got to go through an operation where they look at different candidates and look at what it looks like and create an element of building up to somebody being there.
They've got the wrong person at the top. You cannot have that person be that incompetent, that emotional, canceling in a huff on the last second.
First of all, I love Erica, and I know that she did get some threats. And, about 2 hours ago, Andrew, I was
about 2 hours ago. Go on to that in your head. About 2 hours ago.
a little worried that we were going to have to cancel the event because Erica was not going to come, and she was very worried about it.
About 2 hours before he was talking, was worried they were going to have to cancel the event because Erica wasn't coming. Wouldn't he have known that if she didn't fly to the event? Wouldn't she have at least told the Vice President of the United States, hey, I'm not able to make it tonight. I won't be there. Why was he only worried 2 hours before the event that they were going to have to cancel it? He said that at 5:47 p.m. Eastern time. 2 hours before that would have been 3:47 p.m. You know what J.D. Vance's plane started doing at 3:47 p.m.? He was flying from Washington, D.C. to Athens, Georgia. 2 hours to the minute before he uttered that statement, his plane started circling randomly on the way. And it circled for 31 minutes before they decided to continue on to Athens. This is the Vice President of the United States. Why was the Vice President only finding out 2 hours before the event that they might have to cancel it because she wasn't going to be there?
Last night, in case you missed it, in case you've been hiding under a rock, Erica Kirk was slated to appear alongside her friend, Vice President J.D. Vance, at the University of Georgia, and she just completely no-showed it. She stood him up. That is not casual. That is the sitting Vice President of the United States. It is low-key disrespectful outside of a real emergency. Emphasis on the word real. It was mystifying at first, really, especially since the decision very clearly had to have been made. We were left to assume that it had been made in the umpteenth hour because the announcement was made by none other than Andrew Colvett on stage. This means that ticket holders were not informed until the very moment of the event. Actually, the Turning Point leaders who put together the event were not informed that she was not going to be there. How do we know? Because they were posting and promoting her appearance just 50 minutes before doors opened. Here is a video of the TPUSA staff promoting her. Take a listen.
Hey everybody, my name is Grant Teller. I'm the field representative for the Peach Territory and also the University of Georgia.
And I'm Caroline and I'm the University of Georgia chapter president.
And we are here at the Aikens Ford Arena about to host J.D. Vance and Erica Kirk.
Doors open at 1:50, so come out and support your country.
We'll see you there.
They look sweet and happy and clearly not informed of what was going on. So if the story that they are going to sell to us, that there's a threats so secret that not even the Secret Service could detect them. Because that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. The Secret Service has come out and said, nope, Erica's a liar, and so is her mama. Okay, basically, I'm being a little bit dramatic. They didn't say her mama was a liar, but I just added that. I'm not lying as much as her.
So is her mama.
They definitely said she was lying. There's no other way to interpret the statement that they released. I also think it's interesting that they got a statement out to the press. Just this entire situation at the University of Georgia, it's objectively hilarious. You kind of just sometimes have to stand back and watch it all and recognize that it's a sitcom. Turning Point USA has turned into a sitcom. Somehow Erica really thought that she was just going to get away with saying that there was this very credible threat against her life and nobody would go, oh, wait, you probably shouldn't say that with the vice president in the room. Like, you can't just say stuff. That's one of my phrases. You can't just say stuff, but you definitely shouldn't just say stuff when you have the vice president of the United States with you. That would actually rise if there was a credible threat against you.
Mr. Crowley. For those of you in the book club, those of you reading, we've been reading Chaos. This is what is, and I'm going to tell you his background story. That whole garb that he's wearing, by the way, this is Aleister Crowley. For those of you in the book club, those of you reading, we've been reading Chaos. This is what established Hollywood. You are not imagining it. This is what these people believe in. And in 1969, lo and behold, speaking of the book Chaos, when the military was just spiking the ball, psychological operations, moon landing, whenever you're ready, the Manson murders, whenever you're ready, all military. Anyways, in 1969, this guy Aquino
which means everything is a lie.
Joined the Church of Satan. And in 1969, he then rose through the ranks of that church as the Magister Caverns of a fourth degree within the church hierarchy. He became the editor of the publication, The Cloven Hoof, and he sat on the governing council of the Nine. In 1975, he left to form his own satanic church because just like other churches break apart, there was a schism. And the schism was because they couldn't establish the doctrine, because the Satanists were saying, like, Satan is an idea. And he was like, no, Satan is literal. And so they had the great satanic schism, you could say. He accuses Anton LaVey, who's the founder of the Church of Satan, of heresy for claiming that Satan was merely a metaphor and not an actual being. So I'm going to now let Michael Aquino, who's head of PSYOPs, along with Pyle Vallely, who's a board member, tell you what the goals were when he established the Temple of Set. Take a listen.
I just want to start out, I think, by clarifying and understanding the nature of what it is to be a Setian. Obviously, slightly different from a Satanist, but obviously you did spend some time with the Church of Satan under LaVey initially. And just to understand what is the mindset, what is the philosophy of a Setian? What is that worldview like?
The Temple of Set was originally thought to take the context of what our original satanic experience had been out of the Judeo-Christian mythology system. And harking back to the original Church of Satan days, we were looking really to find the nature of what is generally called the human soul. In other words, what it is within us that animates us, that gives us freedom of decision, of conceptualization, the intellectual life force. The Church of Satan, of course, had a certain social criticism aspect to it, and it also
and remember, this guy has everything to do, or had everything to do, with Turning Point USA.
Like to hold Judeo-Christianity's feet to the fire. After 10 years, both of those became sort of played out. And we were looking, as Obi-Wan Kenobi suggested to Luke Skywalker in the first Star Wars movie, to take a first step into a larger universe. So the Temple of Set exists to explore the self, the personality, and we do this through the media of ancient Egyptian religion, which we found to be the most sophisticated. So what you see in the Temple of Set is not anything with an agenda towards good or evil per se, but rather towards understanding consciousness, and once you understand consciousness, to maximize your personal use of it in such a way that you are not the slave to conventions or to propaganda of any sort.
And I just want to remind y'all, the main reason why I'm talking about this today is because Paramount Tactical is getting paid a measly $150,000 to $200,000 to literally side with all of this weird, disgusting shit. So in other words, there's a possibility that he doesn't see a future in him creating or maintaining his own brand, because sometimes when you think you're about to get laid off of a job, or your business starts to, fall off, and you start looking around trying to figure out how you're going to make some money, how you're going to pay your bills. You may have had a new baby or something, and you start looking around like, how am I going to pay for all this? And then Turning Point USA comes in and says, hey, we'll give you $200,000. We'll give you this, or we'll give you a certain amount of money every month if you turn around and just start taking up for us and just make video at a video at a video, trying to justify Turning Point's stupidity. And next thing you know, you're like, damn, I now can take care of my family. But from a long-term standpoint, you're siding with demon worshipers. You're signing with this disgusting set of idiots, and you just ruin your entire brand. But you're short-sighted, Paramount Tactical in particular, where nobody's going to want to deal with you in year 3 or 4 or 5. So you might be getting some income now, but what happens later on down the road? Siding with Turning Point USA is the stupidest thing anybody can do, because they're idiots.
For that matter, so that you are in fact in effect a god yourself, responsible for your own decisions concerning matters of good or evil or morality.
Justin says Blake is another man that came after Candace. Well, it's not about coming after Candace. This is about going in. It's about siding with Turning Point USA, because anybody including Candace, can be wrong, could be this, could be that. So we all need to be held accountable. So I'm not saying going against Candace, I'm saying siding with Turning Point USA. But yes, Blake doesn't seem to have it all there. I think something is mentally wrong with Blake. So just because someone has a lot of followers doesn't mean you don't have to pay attention to their mental makeup. So in my opinion, I think the little Blake Bednar's guy has some issues, and I would say pray for him instead of condemning him. I think he just has some issues. So I wouldn't even say Blake, because the thing about it is Turning Point USA paying Blake? No. Is Turning Point USA paying Paramount Tactical? Yes. So I look at Ben Shapiro and Paramount Tactical as the idiots more than I see as Blake. Blake may just see something and he's just like, oh my God, this is that. And he has the right to think that because that's how he thinks. But nobody's paying him money to go against his beliefs. Blake's beliefs are his beliefs. So he's a genuine person, whether you agree with him or don't. I don't agree with him. I think something's wrong with him mentally, but at least those are his beliefs. Paramount Tactical is adopting somebody else's beliefs. So I see Paramount Tactical as he's not even a man because he's able to get bought out and start pushing another set of beliefs that aren't his. So that's the difference between Blake and Paramount Tactical, just to give y'all some clarity. I don't agree with neither one of them, but one actually has genuine beliefs, which you have to respect. And the other person is just getting paid to have somebody else's belief. And I don't respect that.
Let's actually stay on one topic and follow it to its end. And every time we do this, we end up here where it's very obvious whether we're talking about becoming Brigitte, we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein, and now we are talking about Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA and Faith and this guy that's on the board. We always land here. Okay, this is not a satanic panic. This is history. What he's referring to, and if you are my book club, we've spoken about this at length. I keep telling you guys about the Frankists that came, right? The Franklin cover-up that came to America. They say, oh, this was a fringe cult. No. These people have always been in power. They've been backed by the bankers. And what he's referring to, what they follow is the Egyptian Book of the Dead. They've kept this, okay? This is what they...
The Egyptian Book of the Dead is absolutely crazy. Let me read these super chats. Did you see the guy on Fox News with the face mask? And the face mask on a retired Navy SEAL, silicone mask, neck showing on live TV. Yes, I did see that. Yeah, he had a mask on, and you could see the bottom where it was a split. So yes, I totally agree. I seen that. They masked Robert Hayward. Okay, yeah, I did see that. 1000%. Quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions.
Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
Follow spells, rituals, and they do believe in the self. They believe that they can make themselves gods by violating nature. So part of their ritual is to harm the innocent, because that's unnatural. It's unnatural to harm, and that's what they're doing. I want you to know that. I want you to just put that in the back of your mind and to pay attention to that, and why I urge you guys to get your children out of these schools. I think as a society waking up all around the world, the fact that these people have always been in power. And it's pretty scary that they've been in power, they're in charge of our military. Psychological operations.
Right.
So in 1986, regarding this guy, the San Francisco police began investigating allegations, not surprisingly, of sexual abuse in connection with the Army's Child Development Center, which is based in San Francisco. A girl came forward in 1987 and she identified him, Aquino.
Uh-oh. Hold on, I might have to mute some stuff. So if it messes up, It's not messing up. It's me muting something. So let's see.
As the culprit. An investigation was launched. The police believed she was telling the truth, but they had to close the case because of insufficient evidence that was found. Even though she was able to describe the house where she was taken to, they said there was insufficient evidence. Now, it's worth noting that Michael Aquino was trained at Fort Huachuca.
There we go again. Fort Huachuca. Fort Huachuca again. Michael Aquino, who is a 100% known devil worshiper, was trained at Fort Huachuca. Because yes, he did. He was in the military.
Huachuca, as we've now established, is the hub for intel operations. And there have been a lot of scandals that have happened at Fort Huachuca. And man, did we all endure and survive a psychological operation when Mitch Snow came and told us that he saw Brian Harpole and he saw Erica Kirk at Fort Huachuca in the days leading up to Charlie's assassination, different days. But man, we were going, what is happening? Why do we feel like the whole internet is screaming at us? Yeah, well, that's the home of Army intel psychological operations, and you should know that. Anyways, we now should discuss why it's just so hard for Turning Point USA to stay away. I showed you this chart from these trafficking connections, and you're just not going to believe a relationship that they are not severing. I just find it weird, like where they're having discussions about whether or not they should let Tucker speak on the stage. But I want to have discussions. Like if I'm a board member, I don't think they're going to consider me for it. But I'm open to it. Turning Point USA, I'm open to it. Shoot my shot. I would want to talk about some of these pastors that are welcomed onto the Turning Point USA stage. What is going on with Harvest Church and Greg Laurie? Here's an article which tells us that Greg Laurie, there's been a number of lawsuits filed against Harvest Christian Fellowship, the founder, Greg Laurie, and also the churches related to alleged abuse of young men.
Oh, whoa. Just gotta be careful. There we go.
Claiming that Paul Havsgard, he is a former pastor and a missionary at Harvest Christian Fellowship in Riverside, California. So that's that area where they're all from. Colvette's from there, that area. He's from Santa Barbara, actually.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. What? Everybody hit the like button.
The allegations include being tied to radiators, being made to kneel down on walnut shells, being touched inappropriately, and being pimped out for sex. Now, the number of litigants, as I said, has risen to 12, and the law firm as representing the survivors said in a news release that they are expecting 23 former residents of the home to bring complaints. The most recent complaints were filed in November. The court documents claim that Greg Laurie and the Harvest Christian Fellowship sent funding to Havsgard, which they obviously did send funding to him while he was there, and they were negligent in supervising him while he was there, despite reports of abuse. And so he's offering back that, oh, well, that's a pastor that we were funding. It's not the entire church. It's not fair to come after the whole church for what Paul Havsgard is being alleged to have done. I'm saying this is just too many times. For me, I don't know about you guys, I'm getting Romanian trafficking fatigue, okay? I'm getting Ukrainian, Romanian trafficking fatigue. It just can't be that all of these military people that are adjacent to the military, go out there in a place where they're perfectly safe, actually. They're quite immune to prosecution because that's the deal that gets struck up between the governments is like you can do whatever you want on your base. And I'm going, what the heck is going on here? So I reached out to some people that I know, and I say, what is this strand? I don't know much about the military. Why does this keep happening? And what they told me, and this is also proven currently right now, a bunch of South Korean women have filed a unprecedented lawsuit against the United States military for the same thing, for running a brothel where they are stationed in South Korea,
And the reason why I emphasize South Korea is because right before Charlie died, Charlie got invited to speak at South Korea, and Charlie ended up dying. No, he actually went. And then right after he went, well, after he died, Rob McCoy, which was a pastor having to do with Turning Point USA Faith, he actually was asked to go out to South Korea. And he was out in South Korea for like a month, just speaking to everybody. And that is the significance of South Korea. There was a video where, I got to figure out where it is, where Rob McCoy like pulled off his shirt in front of a whole bunch of Korean people. And that was in South Korea. So that's the significance of South Korea. It might be in this video.
And so what they are telling me adds up. It's tracking. What they say is, okay, think of a military base. Anywhere in the world, you have a bunch of men who do not have regular access to women. So in those circumstances, and you also have a bunch of people that are, at the top of that military who, I don't know, maybe could be a bit like Aquino, some satanic tastes. Anyway, they tell me is that they will typically send someone out who will be a woman. So think of like a Ghislaine Maxwell to go out and to find them, their interests, their tastes, young women that can be manipulated. That person will often describe themselves as a casting director to go out there and to tell the women to come onto the base. Once they're on the base, anything can happen to them. Like I said, they are afforded no protections from their government, and our government is not going to prosecute the men that do anything on that base. That's how a typical deal works. And yeah, I don't know. Just like from a PR perspective, I'm not so concerned about why it is that Tucker Carlson, who just believes that we shouldn't get involved in wars, just like Charlie believed, is speaking at Turning Point USA. I am kind of concerned why all of these pastors who seem to be rehabilitating
PDF files
are welcomed. Well, I just feels like I think easily to say we're just not right now, Greg Laurie, until we get to the bottom of whether or not your church was more involved than these people are alleging. Because it's interesting that he's not saying it didn't happen. He's saying, well, it's not the whole church.
Right. Well, is not the whole church is absolutely crazy. Half the church is doing PDF file stuff, but not the whole church. And this shit is really sad. So overall, y'all, even though we're in a bad position economically, gas is sky high, people are getting laid off from their jobs, please do not allow an outside entity to come in and pay you some money to do something that you don't believe in, because that's when things get kind of sad and it gets kind of scary. Do not do what Paramount Tactical did. He's dealing with hard times, so he comes online taking up for Turning Point USA, because from a long-term standpoint, you're going to ruin your whole life. Don't sell your soul.
USA, through to the decision makers, Andrew Colvett and Justin Strife, are working directly with Brad Parscale.
Shout out to Zach Costello.
With Brad Parscale, a registered foreign agent, to provide the technical and financial nervous system that allows Turning Point USA to scale its agenda to millions of young Americans.
Everybody in the chat say, don't sell your soul. Everybody watching, drop in the chat or drop in the comments, don't sell your soul. Drop in the comments, don't sell your soul.
Brad Parscale is also responsible, under contract actually, with the Israeli Foreign Ministry to spread pro-Israel media throughout Salem media affiliates. The headliner being The Charlie Kirk Show, which Charlie, for these reasons, was trying to pull himself, The Charlie Kirk Show, and Turning Point USA away from. A company called Campaign Nucleus. Campaign Nucleus, which is the Brad Parscale, a registered foreign agent, owned company, which serves as the primary software platform for Turning Point USA's massive student and church outreach programs. The firm's tools are utilized by Justin Strife, COO, CDO, to manage the organization's fundraising operations, which now exceed $92 million annually. Parscale's firms provide the digital command center that facilitates the geofencing and targeted ad delivery used by partners like Chad Schneiker to reach out to students. Let's keep this going. And congregants on behalf of the Israeli government.
So everything is them, the IHOP.
Are you switching them out for all American flags? Oh, just that one? Every other one. Oh, every other one. Yep. Yeah, nice.
Oh. Everything is those people.
Are you switching them out for all American flags? Oh, just that one? Every other one. Oh, every other one. Yep. Yeah, nice.
This shit is sad, man. But We can fight back because we are presently winning. Are y'all aware that we're presently winning? Ben Shapiro's YouTube channel is falling apart. The Daily Wire, which is headed by Ben Shapiro, is falling apart. Paramount Tactical is probably going to end up having to go get an actual job because he's not getting any views. He's losing supporters. We're winning. We just have to keep our foot on these weirdos' necks in order for, because there's a war and there's a battle. So right now we're winning the battle, but we have to win the actual war. So we have to keep our foot on these weirdos' necks. Where is that? I'm not exactly sure. I just seen it and I decided to make it a little clip. So, and I don't want to know where it is because I don't want to go there who has these weird ass flags up. So I don't know where it is. I don't care where it is. I'm just letting y'all know that that is what's presently going on. They putting up their flags right next to our flags, and it's absolutely disgusting. But I want y'all to know that we are winning the war. Us over here, Candace, Ian, Baron, all of us over here are winning. Shout out to Valhalla. Shout out to Jesse on Fire. Shout out to Danks. We are winning. We just have to stay consistent. As long as we stay consistent, we'll win the war. We're winning the battle. But sometimes when you're winning, things can turn around and overwhelm us, and then we can turn around and end up losing. So we got to keep our foot on these damn people's necks. And don't think you don't have any power, because I always say the metaverse was one of the first psyops that was going to take over the entire world. They were going to make us zombies, where all of us are just going to be sitting in our chairs, like with the little VR things on our heads, VR headsets, and we were just going to be zombies living in another damn parallel world. And we all said no. And because we said no, Meta lost $1 billion because we said no. So us saying no, us making a choice to go over here versus going over there will help us win. So don't think we can't win because we're presently winning. All right. So I may go live again this evening, but most definitely I'm going live tomorrow. So subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and I'll see y'all later. Of course, I'm gonna play the like buttons on.
Everybody hit the like button. 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 If you got something to say, drop it in the comments. Don't be acting afraid. What? Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. If you got something to say, drop it in the comment. Don't be acting afraid. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city. What? Drop your city in the chat. What? Drop your city. What? Drop your city in the chat. Drop your city in the chat.
If you had one wish involving us, what would it be?
That we got along better.
Okay.
The day that you told me, like, I was so happy for you, my mindset toward you completely changed. I think after you had her, you realized like how hard it is to be a mom, and like when you look back at things that maybe like made you mad at me, you realize like, okay, well, that is hard.
I just bought this mother-daughter card game because I came to the realization that my issues with my mom are not resolved, so I decided to do something about it. I just played this card game with my mom and we both literally broke down crying. Here's the card game right here. Buy it. Every woman needs this. You won't regret it.